have an update from NEOXA. They were hacked yesterday. A lot of people were talking about the price getting dumped. Apparently the price was getting dumped because essentially at the end of the day, they were getting hacked, and that's what was getting dumped. So it says, "Add everyone. It is unfortunate there are bad actors out there, and sadly one of them attacked the NEOXA chain overnight. Here's the chain of events as we know and actions to follow. 1. Someone that mined at the start of NEOXA with a mining farm had sold off their coins, 10 million, also part of the suspicious address, apparently. There was a double spend attack on the network. Coins were crashed that do not exist, or created that do not exist, excuse me. And these coins were spent and sold on the exchanges, and they have already been spent. Exchanges are missing balances. NEOXA will have to reimburse these exchanges with development and POG funds that were scheduled to be burned. There's just no other choice." So usually what happens is they burn coins that were part of the proof of game portion. And I guess more of the proof of gaming function that's within there, whatever they have set aside for proof of gaming, is also going to be paid as reimbursement for the exchanges. It says, when exchanges open, we have requested them to have 720 confirmations for now. Attacks have happened in many blockchains, they go on to say, and NEOXA is not the first, nor will it be the last. And it says, these types of attacks are known as mining double spend attacks. These attacks are done with big mining farms and NiceHash. With 720 confirmations, exchanges will be able to find these attacks and blocks will be orphaned in that period. While the network hash rate seems high to some, it's relatively small when it comes to attacks. And this really does bring up a kind of an interesting, I think, development question when you're looking at coins, because especially proof of work coins. And that is, should you put your trust in a proof of work coin that doesn't have basically a brand new algorithm? Now, there's a couple arguments for this, right? A big farm's still going to be able to be malicious, but at least with a new algorithm, what you end up with is an algorithm that is not supported by, well, NiceHash. And NiceHash has been notorious for basically facilitating large attacks like this. Now, was this specifically NiceHash, or was it just this one large miner? I'm not too clear. But basically what happens, just so everybody's clear, is called a 51% attack. This is something that most blockchains have solved, even newer ones that are coming out. But what ends up happening is that you have over 50% of the hash rate by a single miner, and then they are able to double spend coins. What that meant is what they were sending into the exchange was not actually all generated legitimately through the network. And that's because the chain will follow the longest chain. So there's a lot going on there from the attack perspective. And it just makes me think, like, possibly when you're looking at a lot of these coins that are getting started up, you may want to lean towards coins that are on newer algorithms. But alternatively to that, there are options out there to build projects that take security from already established networks. What do I mean by this? Well, an example is Komodo, for example, which is what I've been doing Soakcoin on. Komodo supports two algorithms right now. One is going to be an ASIC algorithm. The other one's a CPU mining algorithm, and they're going to be adding more. But the cool thing about Komodo as a platform is that when you split off the chain for Komodo and you spin it up, you have the option of basically taking the security from the Komodo chain and applying it to your new project. This allows you to maintain security without having risks of things like these 51% attacks. Obviously, with the Kapal algorithm and NEOXA basically just being a straight up fork of essentially Ravencoin, it was kind of not going to have this type of security, unfortunately. I don't know what's going to happen with the funds moving forward. Obviously, it was going to be primed for attack, I think, just because of it being so fresh and new, but getting a lot of attention thanks to proof of game. And then, of course, the interesting stuff happening earlier this week with both Mojang's response to blockchain and NFTs within Minecraft. and NEOXA deciding not to deploy the Minecraft server. This is all kind of bouncing around in the background. Now, 720 confirmations is going to take forever, and that does mean that dumping your coins will be extremely difficult if you're trying to get out. Should you get out, that's going to be up to you. I don't have any financial advice on this one way or the other. It does look like the team is trying to address it, so that's good news. And we'll have to see how it plays out. But it's pretty bad when you see an attack like this. Also, pay attention for a chain split as well, a potential chain split, and make sure you're on the right chain, because this could happen again. As far as their plan to fix it, all it is adding in long confirmations, meaning the actual attack vector of the 51% attack for double spend is still there. So it doesn't sound like they necessarily quite yet, and we'll have to see later on down the line, but it doesn't sound like they necessarily quite yet have an idea to prevent this in the future. And by this, I mean like the 51% attacks, etc. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here or more crypto content down here. Also, I'd like you to check out my locals page at sonofatech.locals.com, where you can become a member for free or choose to be a $5 a month supporter that unlocks additional content.